Right, I've hit record.
Does that mean we're going?
Yeah, go on.
I've got no idea where that clap. I think it helps. I think it helps.
Yeah, does it help?
I think so.
Mate, I don't care, mate. I don't
yeah,
edit
exactly.
anymore.
I'm doing it, whether you like it or not.
Interesting things said by uninteresting people. Show hosted by Ben and Tom. Interesting things said by uninteresting people.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Interesting Things Said by Uninteresting People, a podcast where we talk about interesting things that you might find interesting as well. My name is Ben, and as always, I'm joined by the all-grown-up half of the podcast, Tom. How are you, mate?
Yo. Old.
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 Yeah, hey, you said yo.
I did.
That's young, right?
That's down with hello, fellow children. Like, what's up?
Hello, kids.
No, yeah, I'm okay. I've left the 20s. The 20s are over. In the 30s
man, that's
now.
rough.
It's rough.
That's rough.
You've been there.
I have been there. Yeah. A couple of years ago now. Thanks.
Just a few months back.
Mate, I wanted to ask. I mean, not to dive straight into like the meat of what we're going to talk about, but I almost figure it's worth talking about that age, that milestone of turning 30. You know, because it's something that's in TV shows. You know, everyone always complains, everyone gets scared, everyone has a bit of a breakdown about turning 30. But I don't know, man. I thought, how do you actually feel about it?
Well, I think you're right. There seems to be such pressure. I think it's not the fact that you're turning. It's not the number. I think it's the fact that people expect you to have things sorted out by 30.
Sure.
Opposed to like, 21, you're an adult now, and 30 is like, well, you should have a wife and kids and all this sort of shit by 30.
Yeah.
Which
you should have your shit together.
Yeah, but mate, without like kind of sitting here bragging, because it's not at all the case. I do feel like I've got it sorted out as much as I'd like it to be.
Yeah. I think so, man. I mean, not to blow smoke up your own trumpet, but yeah, I think you're not one of these people who hasn't got their shit together at all.
No, yeah, I've got a house. I'm doing the self-employed thing now.
Yeah, man.
Seeing how it goes.
It's weird that's kind of all come together at like the same time. Yeah. Do you find that though? Like in life, you have moments where everything changes all at once.
Yeah,
so
man.
All of a sudden,
definitely.
You feel you can look back a year ago and think, "Oh shit, it's very different."
Well, it's like when you move out. I think it's when you move out of your parents' home or the home wherever you live in, and you move out on your own or move out of a partner or something. It is that's more of a life turning point than turning 21 or 30.
Yeah,
those things like buying a house. That's probably the biggest thing I've done. Since 21.
Funny though, man. It's funny though, man, because I'm very aware. I mean, we are a homeowner as well, but it's weird how that is like a yardstick for people because it shouldn't be. Like, I'm not. I hope I'm not sounding patronising saying this. I really believe it. Like, it's not the be all and end all, but it is such a big thing for people sometimes.
Yeah, I think it's the commitment, isn't it? It's not so much the money side. It's saying I want to live here for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. It's like I'll do something now that I'm almost setting this. I'm setting a plan in motion now for the future, which I've never really thought about before.
Yeah, well, definitely. And especially if you're buying it with a partner, it's a pretty big thing to do together. Next to getting married, it's probably the biggest thing you can do together.
I'd say so. Yeah. Pets.
But yeah, man. To fall back to it, I'm feeling pretty all right with it. Like I said, I've got the house, we've got getting self-employed. It's all kind of come around nicely. I'm doing okay.
Yeah, man. I think I got given some advice. I think when I turned 30, and the advice was saying that it's the best time of your life. It's way better than anything before. A lot of 20-somethings think, oh shit, it's bad to grow old, it's bad to turn 30, whatever. Because you've got your shit together a little bit more. Money's not everything, but maybe you've started to financially sort yourself out a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're still fit and healthy enough to enjoy doing most of the things that you did in your 20s.
Yeah, man, I think the thing I've noticed the most, and potentially this has happened over the last 2 years, and now that I'm 30. Maybe it's just a realization of it. But I feel now I'm old enough to just say no to shit. It's like, do you want to do this?
Man.
No. Why don't we do it?
It's such a big deal.
Yeah,
you're so right.
Yeah.
But it's good to be able to not really have to give a reason either.
Yeah, like why don't you want to do it? It's like
Don't.
I'd rather stay at home, mate.
Listen to me,
literally
whippersnapper.
simple as that.
Time is valuable. Time is short.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to like if people ask you, do you want to get I don't know pissed up or something, and you're like, no, do you know what? I value my Sunday too much to just throw it away like that.
I hear you,
so
man.
no.
I hear you. I hear you. You know what, man? Not to get sidetracked here, but I hear you on a very personal level, because last night I had to go and meet some work people, and we definitely got pissed up, which is not maybe the best way to meet new employees and sort your plan out, but it went very well. And today I felt rough as an old arsehole in the morning.
Rough as an old dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
which just
man.
drives it home. Like, it really does start to affect you a bit more. Mate, I was talking to Claire about this earlier on, actually. It's weird that as you get older, I don't know, maybe some people don't do this. I start to keep track of how many times I've had a drink during the week. Not like in terms of units, not like in terms of, I've had 3 beers today, I've had 2.
Yeah.
But in terms, it suddenly occurs to me like, oh shit, I did have a drink Thursday, Friday. Maybe I'll steer clear on Saturday, if whatever it is.
I mean, because Callie basically doesn't drink, is almost teetotal. We don't ever have it in the house. So I never, up until recently, and this is probably a good segue, up until I don't drink at all unless it's to get drunk. I won't just have a beer unless I'm meeting somebody or, going to the pub or whatever.
Yeah.
But for my 30th birthday, Callie got me a hot tub for the week, like a inflatable kind of hot tub, a lazy spa, I think
awesome.
Lazy boy or something like that.
Awesome.
And you've got to have beers in the tub. You got to.
Yeah.
And so every day I've been in the tub, because we've been in the tub twice a day, basically. I always have a couple of cans, because it's just like, I know it feels like the right thing to do. I really, really enjoy it in the tub. So I think if we kept the hot tub, I would turn into a small alcoholic.
Yeah, like a functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, but no, yeah. Normally, like I say, I think the last time I was like effectively drunk would have been well over a year ago.
Wow, man, that's some good going.
Really,
that's some really good going.
It's not. The thing is, it's not even like intentional. It's like if the situation came up, I'd do it, but it hasn't, so I haven't.
Oh man, I mean, funnily enough, the last time I really got pissed in a hot tub, I was drunk enough that I didn't care. I was dropping the bottles of beer in the hot tub, fishing them out quick, obviously quick. I'm not an animal, and then just glugging away anyway, regardless.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so chlorinated in that small.
What beer are you drinking in the hot tub?
It's a Brewdog. Kieran got me quite a big box of them for my birthday.
Oh
so
man, is that their Lost Lager? Or
yeah, that's the one, Lost Lager. Really nice.
Really
nice.
I've started going into there's a new beer shop in town. I say new, it's not new. It's newish. It's newish. It's been there for maybe 18 months, maybe a couple of years. And man, I don't know if you've been in there. Have you checked it out?
No, mate, I haven't been in town. Well, I say I haven't been in town. I haven't been, other than go to Boston Tea Party, I haven't been in town in a long, long time, since before COVID hit.
Well, man, I would recommend this place. In fact, I'll give it a minor shout out. It's called the Crafty Beer Shop, nice. And it's really worth checking out, because this kind of fits into what we're talking about. It's like if you think, right, I'm deliberately going to have a beer. I'm not going to have some beer of whatever I've got. I'm deliberately going to have a nice. There's some really nice stuff in there. I'm not becoming a hop fan, or like a big expert. I've got a friend who's really, really knowledgeable about it, and I'm nowhere near knowing what the different beers are like. But this is some good stuff.
I mean, I do really like tasting new beers and stuff. Like if you go to a place and there's like, you can have a pint or you can have 3 that make up a pint of different ones.
Yeah, like little schooners.
I'm like, yeah, do that one. Give me a taste of all 3.
Oh man, well, dude, because there's a brewery called Deya, Deya, who I tried a couple of their beers and I thought, well, shit, this is really good. And then the next time I was in the shop, they had like 8 different beers from them. So I don't know
Yeah.
whether it's like they just run real short batches, or whether they really do just have like a huge selection of different beers they make. But that felt, buying one can of each felt much nicer than buying like a 6-pack of the same beer.
Yeah, no, I dig that. I think when I went to where'd I go? The other day I had to buy some beers because we're going over Matt's house. I can't remember where we went. And maybe I was drunk. No, I wasn't. But I bought
maybe I've been drunk all week.
Yeah. I bought four cans of different lagers, like with just funny designs on them. I had one that was like it looked like that old arcade game Outrun. It had It had that Ferrari on it with like that road.
Amazing.
I was like, I'll get that. It looks cool. And it was like a strawberry beer, and it was actually really nice.
Cool. Okay.
I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah, man, I can get into it.
But,
I mean, just very real quick, man, because I don't think I told you this. Speaking of old arcade games, we watched Rampage the other day.
Oh yeah,
with The Rock. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? If it was so bad that it was actually all right.
Yeah.
I almost hate myself for saying it.
Considering how like amazing The Rock is now and what he does and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah, sure.
When a film comes out like that, I'm like, he must have been just paid a silly amount to not do it.
Well, the nice thing is, like, when you see him talk about objectively bad films that he's done, or films that have been poorly received, man, he takes it on the chin like a champ. Like, have you ever seen him talking about Baywatch?
No,
because that didn't do too well. A lot of people liked it, but it didn't do too well in the box office. And he said, he's like, you know what? Hey, it happens. We set out to make something really good, and we missed, whatever.
Yeah.
So he really owns it.
Oh, that's cool. I guess like, as long as you're having fun on set and all that sort of thing, it's probably quite easy to forget that maybe it could have been better or something like that. If you're with good people and it feels like a good film at the time, and then you watch it back, it's like, maybe that was a bit silly.
My main problem with Rampage, and this isn't going to dive into like a full-on review about this mediocre film that we watched, but my main problem with it was that I really thought The Rock was going to turn huge. Because it was set, I mean, come on, like that would have made an amazing film. Absolutely incredible third act. Is The Rock's the size of a skyscraper?
I would
Sadly
love that.
Not. Sadly, maybe it would have done better in the cinema if that had have happened. Who knows? You'd get people saying, "Hey, just stay through the first hour, all right? Bear with the first hour because it'll pay off."
Oh man,
I remember. Sorry, I wanted to tell you about this because it might be something you'd enjoy. Actually, there's a guy called Tim Creeder, who as I'm saying this, maybe we've talked about this before. So stop me if it rings any bells. But he's a writer, American writer, and he writes articles for newspapers, for magazines, what have you. So he's like an essayist, but he's very funny, very dry, but very, very real life funny, And he has an essay called The Referendum. And it's not, I mean, now since this was written, for us as Brits, like the word referendum has a whole new immediate connotation.
A whole disgusting new meaning.
Yeah. But it's worth a read. If you can, I don't know if you can track it down online to just have a read of it. But it talks about where you reach that point in your life where you start noticing like the doors that you've shut versus the doors that other people have shut.
Okay.
Like when we're talking about what it means to turn 30 and grow old and grow up and buying houses, having relationships and all the rest of it. And it's just, it's just interesting. It feels very reassuring to know that you're not alone when you kind of go, well, they've done this. Why didn't I do that? Or is it right that I've done what I've done?
Yeah.
I think that's maybe the biggest thing to come to terms with.
Oh, mate, this is a huge switch, almost a huge switch of topic. But over my birthday period, again a huge switch. I felt really hypocritical because basically in the tech world at the moment, loads and loads of new cameras have come out. And they're like big busting new cameras. Like a lot of my Twitter feeds are blowing up about them because there's incredible 4K quality and all this sort of stuff. A lot of things that people have been waiting for a really long time since since perhaps 2015, which doesn't sound that long ago, but in the camera world they released so many. It's like
sure. That's a long Stone Age virtually. Yeah.
Anyway, so like Canon, who are like the biggest camera manufacturer, came out with these new cameras called like the R5 and the R6. which were like, one of them shoots 8K. You know, it's ridiculous. They're complete overkill and all this sort of thing. And like all my Twitter's like people saying I'm pre-ordering. And, you know, these are all creators of similar size to me or a bit higher. No one like millions and millions, which would make sense to get it. But I've been there like on my little Twitter saying, oh, you should use what you've got, you know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, don't you know, don't fall into the. Well, no, I still stand by most of what I said is like, you know, unless a camera meaningfully changes your content, who are you buying it for? Like,
yeah,
unless you're like, and there's nothing wrong with just enjoying something because you enjoy it. It's like, you know, you should be able to buy a new guitar not because it will make you play better, but because it's a nice thing to have.
It just feels good to buy it. Yeah,
it's okay to have new stuff, but. You know, I was taking perhaps a bit of a high road with it and saying like, I won't be changing my camera for years, you know, that sort of thing. Anyway, the camera came out this year called the Fujifilm X-T4, which is like a camera that I had been pretty looking forward to because last couple of years ago, I borrowed an X-T3 and it was nearly the camera I bought. I was very close to getting that over the Sony, which I've got now, but I didn't in the end because it didn't have something called inbuilt stabilization, which means when you hold it, when you're filming it doesn't shake. It will just be solid, which is really useful for someone like me who does a lot of video stuff. It's not quite as useful for, you know, photo people. For video people, it's really important. So I didn't buy that camera and I bought the Sony, despite preferring the Fuji. Anyway, this X-T4 came out and I reached out to Fuji and said, I'd love to try it, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, yeah, cool. So they sent it through and it came through over my birthday period, which was cool. Awesome. And dude, it's basically the camera I wanted couple of years ago. They've just sorted out everything wrong with it. It's got a flippy screen. It's got it's got the built-in stabilization. It's got everything I wanted back then. And like I was using it like, I need to really convince myself that I don't need this. but I started using it, man. I was just like, oh, for God's sake, this is awesome. I went to Amy's tattoo studio and took some photos of it, and they were really well received. Like, Amy loved them. The people that worked there loved them. Like a lot of people on Instagram saying, "Oh, these look great," all that sort of stuff. And I was like, "Yeah, they do look really nice."
Shut up! I know.
almost defeated. Like, yeah, it does look great, doesn't it? It's stupid bloody camera, and it films in 4K 60, which means you can go slow motion on it, which my Sony can't do. So it's got a lot of things my Sony doesn't have. And Fuji give you a bit of a media discount if you want to buy it.
I bet they fucking do. I bet they do.
Yeah.
The first bit's for free.
I've been chucking it in and out of my basket all week, but I feel like such a hypocrite. So here I am going, oh yeah, that was nicer. But in my defense, I keep saying to myself, I wanted it 2 years ago. It just didn't exist.
Yeah, sure. They've made exactly what I was looking for.
Yeah, pretty much. Fine. So that's horrible. So I'm dealing with that at the moment. I say that's horrible.
You poor thing. Yeah.
I know, yeah. Woe is me. But yeah, man, it's so like, anyway, that was my complete deviation. I feel like a bit of a hypocrite, but I haven't bought it yet. So I'm not a hypocrite yet.
Man, there is, hey, look, right. There are a few, as you, like, not to, I'm not trying to tether this to the theme of growing older, but it's another aspect of it, man. As you get, like, as far as gear goes, I swear to God, when you're young, it's gear for gear's sake. You buy something because it's got a crazy new feature, and then you go, "Hey, look, guys, I've got this. It can do this." And then maybe your creativity is a bit driven by that. Like, you know, if all of a sudden you can shoot in slow mo, everything you shoot is going to have some slow mo in it.
Yeah.
But there's few things more satisfying though than getting better at something to the point where you're like, I need this bit of kit. And it's got a job, and as soon as I buy it, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it for exactly what I want to use it for. Yeah. There's a definite satisfaction to that.
Oh man, that's exactly a couple of years ago when I did upgrade cameras. I had hit that point of it. It's not like a case of I needed it, but I felt like the little camera I had, which was about £500, was genuinely holding me back. I was like, I could do with an upgrade, and now it's more of a side grade with a little bit of an up. Do you know?
Yeah, man.
It's not for what I do, the Sony is absolutely fine, and I shouldn't change. But
I mean,
we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, right, mate. It's going to be, this tweet has aged very well.
Yeah.
If you know, just out of interest with the Sony, I mean, do cameras hold their value? Like, you know, if you were to try and sell it on?
Yeah, I reckon I'd get. It costs To buy the camera I've got now, brand new on Amazon, is £1,700, which is a lot of money, huge amount of money. It's what they call full frame, which basically just means it's got a bigger sensor, so it gets more detail. A lot of people go for that full frame look, but it's like saying, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. There's three different types. There's full frame, APS-C, which is a bit smaller, and micro four thirds, which is even smaller. Each have their own benefit. The smaller the sensor, the more zoomed in it is. So if you want to take pictures of birds and stuff, you get a smaller sensor because the lens will go longer. If you want a more cinematic look, you go full frame because it's really wide and you get all that huge depth of field. And APS-C sits somewhere in the middle. So like it's, I mean, I'd easily get 1,400 back for it or that sort of thing. And the thing is with this Fuji is it's cheaper. It's like 1,400 quid. And then if you had on discount.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's because they kind of always sat in that middle ground between, one or the other. This is why it's so compelling is that. But there's loads of other things to consider.
I can smell a side grade coming. I can smell it on the way. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Here it comes, and I'll finally be happy.
And then I'll be, that's the thing. Yeah, then I'll be happy. I just need one more lens.
It's awful. Anyway, man, that's been my little thing over the birthday period. But I think it's also that kind of like, I was talking to Sam about this, is also that honeymoon period with a new piece of gear. Like, I think it's like you said, it's almost that placebo of, because it's new, you enjoy using it more because it's fun. And then because you're having fun shooting with it, you actually take better photos.
Exactly.
Because you're trying more stuff, doing more things. So,
well, man, it's like, in a weird kind of way, it's like with music. If you're recording vocals onto a song, you're recording, especially if you're recording yourself, if you can get it so your voice sounds good going in, it's a much more inspiring sound, because you hear yourself sounding good. You're like, I'm nailing it. And you get into the zone much more easily, man. Yeah, no,
I totally get that as well. And like that Fuji out, categorically has a nicer image look than my Sony. Like all the pictures I posted to friends of it, and the first thing they say is, wow, color looks great on that. And it's it does look really nice.
Why, thank you.
Why, thank you. But it's one of those things. I'll be back in touch when I've clearly bought it.
I'll see you next week.
Feel like an idiot. Yeah. But
mate, talking of new gear and new tech to try out, did you say you had a bit of an app experience?
Yeah, man. This is funny because like I usually browse the App Store on the iPhone because I think it's well designed, and this is like straight from a graphic design perspective and like user interface. I think the App Store is really well done. I think they redesigned it a few years back and it looks incredible. Like it sounds really stupid, but the way it flows, the animations, that sort of stuff. And I always have a look. I never usually buy anything because I just don't. I've got all the apps I need. But then I did see, I was on there the other day in bed before I go to sleep, browsing the App Store like an idiot.
Nice and, Twilight, Twilight
yeah,
browsing.
Nice. And it was like a productivity page. So I clicked onto it, and this is how they wrote me in. The cool thing is with like the App Store is they'll say, oh, these productivities are cool. You click into it and it will tell like a little story behind it. And I'm like, these developers think this and these developers think that. And I'm like, because I'm quite interested in like, what made them do this? What made them do that? And I read into it. Yeah. But then I found this one called Cover, which basically, and like I said, I showed it to you earlier. This is bad podcasting.
Sure.
I think it's because it's heavily kind of Japanesey designed animated. It's basically called Cover. And the idea is it's based around how long it takes to cook noodles. And the idea is you tell it how long you want to focus for. So you put in like 20 minutes, for instance, and they say for 20 minutes, you can make this many bowls of noodles. So the idea is you put 20 minutes on it, you turn your phone over, and then you put it somewhere. The idea is you put it somewhere out of reach, or, just somewhere you can't quite grab it. If you try and pick it up, the phone will like shout and like flash its light and say, no, noodles aren't ready. Don't come, don't duck. Don't do this, don't do that.
Right.
So the idea is to make you not look at your phone.
That's really interesting.
Which isn't something I've really ever struggled with, but I used it for the I've used it for the past couple of days. I've been doing little bits of editing here and there because I haven't been able to drag myself away from it completely.
Yeah.
And it has helped. I went to pick it up. I forgot about it. I went to pick it up and the light flashed and it just went dee, dee, dee. I was like, oh shit.
No, not the noodles, not the noodles.
Yeah, not the noodles. But it's quite cute. The animations are cool. When you've done it, when the 20 minutes are up, the flashlight will flash. You pick it up and it will say, here's your noodles, all nicely made. You've earned these achievements and all that sort of stuff. It's just quite a cool little app.
Oh wow, okay. So it's got like an achievement system within it to help you. Okay, to like gamify it a bit.
Yeah, and it kind of like it will say something stupid at the end as well, like you can feed your 5 friends all of these flavors that you've made or something. It's just really silly, like. But it's quite cool. Like
that does sound really interesting though. Like I think. I know it's quite a hot topic, people saying, we shouldn't be so entrapped by our phones and all the rest of it. But just cool little things like that. I think that's a really good idea.
Yeah, mate. And the thing is as well, it was £1 and I just took the plunge because I like the design of it so much. I was like, that looks really cool. I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't normally do that. It takes quite a lot for me to buy an app. I must have,
right. Yeah.
69p. I don't think so.
Yeah. Who do you think I am?
Yeah, I'm not some sucker. Where's the free version with loads of ads all over it?
Yeah. Give me those ads.
Yeah.
That I have to sit there and swipe through every time.
Yeah. Wasting all that time. But yeah, it's a cool little app. Quite
nice.
Quite enjoying it. Might give it another go.
In terms of your just as a general thing, I mean, in terms of focusing and in terms of taking breaks and in terms of where your workflow, I mean, what does that normally look like for you? Like, are you do you work for an hour, 10 minutes off, or is it like I work for a day and then I have to take a day off every now and again?
No, I'm really I think I'm closer to work an hour, 10 minutes off sort of thing. But I think I said this before, like the biggest distraction for me is YouTube while I'm working on YouTube stuff. So if I've got my Premiere Pro open to edit, I'll always have Chrome open with a few tabs of videos that I'm kind of half watching and half not. And sometimes I'll put them picture in picture, so they're just like playing. They're just kind of half watching it.
Yeah, sure.
So I can go off the rails with it sometimes. Sometimes I'll end up like, shit, I haven't touched Premiere Pro for like an hour, and I've just been like absorbing this other stuff. But the thing is, the cool thing is with anything that you're doing personal, I guess, is like if you're quite excited about it and like, this video is looking really nice, like you can get lost in a hole, and it's like, fucking hell, it's 4:00. Can I be in soon? And
I better at least look like I've done some work.
Yeah, or that, and like usually, like I'll get the kettle on and something just so it's like a cup of tea when she comes in, because
See,
I usually want one that sort of time
I've
anyway.
made an effort.
Yeah, see, the kitchen hasn't looked
what else do you want me to do around it?
Yeah, but I think working from home does push that narrative as well, because like when like I feel like I need to have done something around the house as well.
Yeah,
and if I've just been in here all day and like the kitchen's messier than it was when I woke up.
Yeah,
it's like it's not because I've been doing nothing. I've been like really busy today. Haven't really been in there. But
I sympathise, man, because with the best will in the world, it's some because obviously I do a lot of work from home. Claire most of the time is out. Normally she's working out the house, and it does feel like there's a bit of pressure to be like, well, I've been working all day, but I've also put some washing through. All right.
Yeah, it should be that. It's like
I have been working. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though it's like you haven't hoovered in your working day, you've been out of work.
Yeah, that is literally it. It's like I guess I could have hoovered. I could have taken half an hour off, and
I suppose I could have put some trousers on.
Yeah. I suppose I could have put a t-shirt on today. No, man, I think that's a real thing, definitely. Because when she comes, sometimes I won't move. Like she'll come in the door and I'll just still be working, and she'll come up like, "You right?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, hello. Sorry, I'm busy."
Yeah. Shush! I'm trying to work.
Shush. Yeah, but no, I'm quite strict. I say strict. I'm always on the computer like before 9, so I'll have breakfast now. I'll get up at the same time as Callie does. It's usually like 7. Just get up, have breakfast, chill out for a bit. Usually watch maybe an episode of something I'm watching on Netflix. Like 20 minutes of it's that Parasite thing recently, but something.
Oh
like that.
Yeah, have you been watching some more of that?
I haven't in a few days, so I can't. I'm probably on episode 18, 17.
Mate, I haven't watched it in a couple. This is the anime, isn't it? That we kind of accidentally got into.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's trailed off a bit. I want to finish it because there's only 20 something episodes, so I need to finish it. But it's I found the first 10 episodes of that great, and the rest has been since.
It started to stretch a little bit thin, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, careful, dude. We're going to get a lot of the hate, from the Parasite fans.
Yeah. Oh no.
please don't.
Talking of Parasite, not that this is a particularly good segue. We saw
sure.
The boy Elon Musk has put the Neuralink to work.
Yes, right. When I saw this on the list of things we could talk about, I couldn't actually believe, because I haven't seen anything about this.
Yeah.
What's he done? What's going on?
Well, I feel almost not massively well to talk about it because I've skimmed the read of it. I think he's just showing off Neuralink. If you're not sure what Neuralink is, it's CEO of Tesla, Elon Musk. It's like a brain computer interface. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's like a direct connector, isn't it? Is the aim is between your brain and a computer.
That's it. So I think in the initial idea of it is to help paralyzed people move again, and people so they can use people that are paralyzed, like locked in syndrome or whatever can talk, or can move enough fingers to be able to chat normally, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's just showed some redesigns of it because it was supposed to be behind your ear, where it was supposed to go in, but now it goes on the actual skull. So the idea is they've removed, which is already horrible. They removed part of your skull, put in the Neuralink, which looks like a penny with it looks like loads of little tiny threads coming out of the penny, which go into the brain.
Oh man!
And then you do it. But dude, one of the most interesting things about the whole thing is they're saying how long, because the brain is such a hostile environment. There's lots going on in there. It corrodes away a lot of things they would put in.
Oh, interesting.
So, because the wires are so thin, which go into the brain, they won't last forever.
Oh.
But, it says here, foreign objects in the brain degrade over time and smaller ones break down even faster. So I
suppose I hadn't thought about that. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it must be all the shit that goes on in your brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's only while they need a direct physical connection. Because my first thought is the wires can't go to every bit of your brain, right?
Yeah,
so they're only going to be localized to one area. So there must be some mechanism for the way that he's saying it needs to work, or it's going to work eventually. There must be some mechanism for that bit of kit to remotely pick up information from other parts of the brain.
Yeah, that's it.
So maybe one day that will be possible through something that's outside the skull.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was just reading through the article, and it doesn't. He's got them in pigs, but I haven't really done much with them.
Okay,
it's just
just for fun. It's in there. It's in there. Trust me, it's in there.
Oh, it's in there. But yeah, it's interesting that it's actually come around to a point. I think we talked about it before.
A long while ago. Yeah,
it seemed very sci-fi.
Yeah, I mean, mate, Neuralink. The idea behind Neuralink is one of the things that I am genuinely most excited about if it comes to pass within my lifetime.
Yeah,
because I mean the implications of it are just incredible.
It'd be huge, isn't it?
I mean, Christ, dude, and I think we've talked about that TV show Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether I mentioned that I'd watched the second series, and there's an anime film, a kind of in between quill between the two series as well. And I mean, some of the ideas they explore in that are just insane. I mean, if Neuralink would ever get to the point where it can read your brain and copy that, or interface you completely into a virtual environment, then that's immortality.
Well, dude, this is one of the things this article talks about. Is he says that the main idea of it would be to integrate your personality within an AI, so you could be like a joint. You could use all the power of AI to push your personality further. Yeah. So I guess that would be like instant knowledge from the internet.
Well, that was it, yeah. Because wasn't it? Well, I think maybe we talked about this back along, when Tim Urban on Wait But Why, when he was talking about it, there was like the final level, the final possible look of Neuralink would be that for example, you wouldn't even know you were interfacing with Google. You would just know it. If you wanted to know who wrote Moby Dick, you'd just know the answer straight in your head.
Which is somewhat cool and somewhat creepy, all rolled into one.
Yeah. There's got to be something wrong there, isn't there?
Yeah. It's, it kind of makes me think about how far they can push VR and all stuff like that. Because if you've got a Neuralink which interfaces with your VR headset and then can pretty much convince you that you're there.
Yeah.
There's where does it end? It's crazy.
Where it ends is as soon as you're born, just going, well, we're not going to put you in that risky biological body. We're literally going to come out the womb. We're going to pattern your brain, stick you into a VR construct, and you just live out an entire life in there without ever knowing the difference, and then just delete the body.
Delete
you don't need
the body
that.
is an awful thing to say.
Yeah. It's only going to cause you problems. Only going to cause you pain. It's only going to wear out an age. So don't you worry about that. You're safe in here.
You'll have all these like people that don't do it, and they're like, oh, they're really backwards. They don't use like our new bodies. They use their old organic crap.
Yeah. It's like one question about this VR: why are the pigs in charge? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
They got grandfathered in.
Oh man.
Oh god, dude.
But that's kind of cool. I think at the moment the quote is, "It looks like a Fitbit just for your skull,"
Great.
Which is a bit a horrible thing to say again.
Yeah.
So man, there is something horribly like sinister with it. Like you'd imagine it's all for the right intentions.
Yeah.
Which it kind of is, isn't it? At the end of the day, as much as we like to think the government are controlling us, like most people are most people are good. Like the idea behind Neuralink that it can save paralyzed people is an incredible thing. And why on earth wouldn't you follow it?
Yeah. I mean, but it's like I know sci-fi writing isn't always accurate, but sometimes it is. Like, because sometimes the best sci-fi are the ones that are written by people who've gone, right, what if this small thing changed? And then they really try and figure out what the world would look like accurately to what if we could live forever? What would that actually mean? And then you get some really compelling visions of the future, where someone's actually tried to. And mate, dude, the thinking on stuff like Neuralink, like if it reaches the potential that with new materials, with new tech, with all of that, it could well do. It's scary, man. The implications of it really are scary.
There's always that Black Mirror side to it, isn't there?
Yeah.
I think Neuralink's probably the most Black Mirror-y thing at the moment.
Yeah, and that's saying something for 2020, man. That's saying quite a lot.
Horrible.
Yeah.
I was going to say this is such a again, are we really qualified to talk about it? But did you see any of the Republican National Convention at all?
I saw bits of it.
We're not supposed to get political, and let's not. But the only thing I will say is, like, I don't know. I don't know how you can watch it and think it's real. I think it's real.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can watch it and think that he's
like,
done.
Oh yeah, cool. Stand-up guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that and that's all I'll say on it. But it kind of boggles my mind that someone could think, oh yeah, only 170,000 dead, not bad.
Yeah.
That's people should resign for that shit.
Yeah, it's sickening, man. Like, great news. We've only got 170,000 dead. That's good. Yeah. We're telling you that's a good thing. We're telling you that's a good number. All right. Oh yeah. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Christ. I mean, dude, just in this country, man, just think about the virus specifically. Less the. Come on, man. Let's get our feet out the political pond. But obviously, because Claire's teaching, we've been following what's happening with like the research in kids quite a lot, just to see what's up. Mate, there's a lot of very interesting research that's saying that kids who have it, when they've sampled just random kids, when they carry the virus, mate, they really carry the virus. Like the viral load in them is off the charts, but with no symptoms. Like, so they can feel absolutely fine, and they're carrying buckets of it within themselves.
Buckets of the COVID.
It makes me feel a bit like it's like the chicken pox.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know, the parents almost want you to get it when you're small,
So
that you've had it. You know.
Yeah, man, I was the same. I remember when I got chickenpox when I was younger. My mum was like, "Oh, good, you should have it."
Yeah. Well, you have pox parties.
Yeah,
where you have loads of toddlers getting together.
That is, I hate that and totally get it all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, dude, I mean, I've got a friend who had chickenpox as an adult, and man, he was sick.
Yeah, man,
it
fucks you up.
It was very unpleasant for him. Yeah.
It turns into shingles, doesn't it? If it's
similar,
really bad.
similar virus. I think it's
horrible.
Maybe it's the same. Yeah. No, man, it's not good. So maybe this is going to be our new chickenpox. You know, like, maybe. Oh yeah, he's had the corona. You know, but he's fine now.
He's
like,
fine,
oh, lucky you had it when you're young. Yeah.
Yeah, you can really be a bastard when you're older.
But I think they've this is completely not medical advice. I mean, if you think we're giving out medical advice, then you're probably an idiot. And in which case, take all of our advice because
you why not?
But they're saying now that there's been maybe last time I heard, there's been one confirmed case where someone's had it twice. Two probable cases. No, dude. This was in the UK. I think maybe because was there speculation that the one in Hong Kong hadn't been accurately diagnosed the first time? Maybe.
Oh,
again, I might be drifting into stuff that I just don't know about now. But what they were saying was the second time round, it was a completely fluke test. He was just routinely checked. He felt absolutely fine, and they were like, "Oh yeah, holy shit, you've got it. Like, are you all right?" So yeah, I think I had it a couple of months ago. So the thinking is, hopefully, it looks like if you've had it once and you catch it again, you can have an immune response that stays.
Yeah, that
would be the first good thing. I mean, the next good thing would be that if you've had it, you can't transmit it. I mean, that would be huge, absolutely huge.
Yeah, that would be massive.
But at least if you're symptom free the second time around, that's something.
I don't know if you saw. You see, like Russia, I think announced they have a vaccine.
No, really?
Russia announced a while back that a few weeks ago, saying,
yeah, sure,
we've okayed this vaccine. We're starting to issue it out. I think the Putin's daughter had it, and all of the.
And all of a sudden they were like, right, all hands to the wheel.
The higher echelon all had it and that sort of thing, but no one trusts them enough to let them divvy it out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Mate, it says something when there's conspiracies that Corona is like a man-made. We're going to give it to you, or 5G is giving it to you.
Oh, the 5G one that's my favourite.
Yeah,
of the hoaxes.
But mate, we still don't trust the Russians when they say they can fix it.
No, it's the old 100 years of not really liking each other, isn't it? It's just coming out like, I don't believe you, bollocks. Have you got
It's like, no, we are all fine. We've all been vaccinated. Yeah. No, keep it. Keep that. We're on to you, Vlad.
Vlad. We don't want your cure. We'd rather our people die than you give it to us.
Yeah. Oh Christ, you can, mate. You joke. If that was the new headline where Trump's saying, "No, we don't trust the Russian vaccine," no, we're just going to carry on letting people go. Fuck me, I'd believe it. I'd believe that was the real news.
Oh yeah, man, me too. Dreadful.
Oh, dude. Talking of pills and medicines and things. That was, you see, mate. That's a fairly decent segue.
That was a decent transition.
I watched, I'll say this now. I haven't got a massive amount to say about it, but except that it was quite a good film. I watched Project Power on Netflix.
Right. Oh, which is I know the one you mean.
Yeah. It's a film. It's got Jamie Foxx in it. It's got Joseph Gordon-Levitt in it.
It's got Casey Neistat in it.
It has, dude, mate. When I was watching this, because I didn't realize when you first see him, it's almost like it might just be a quick cameo. But then he's in it. He's in it a bit more. He plays a bit more of a role. I nearly text you there and then, going, "You need to watch this film. Just spin onto this time code and see if you know who that is." I thought maybe it's a guy who just looks like him.
Has he got more? Has he got a few? Oh look, my camera's finally gone. Can you see that?
I can. Yeah, man. It says I can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay. Well,
don't worry. I can still hear you.
I'll switch back. I had a fit. Do you remember last time I was like, it might overheat, and it
just stop blowing on it. For the listeners, what I'm seeing now is a lovely spectrum of digital test colours. The full CMYK range of beautiful beautiful colours.
Isn't it pretty?
It's very pretty. I'm almost surprised that your camera doesn't come with a test card of you with like hey, there you are, with like a dolly, like a dolly and a blackboard to go. I'll be back. I'll be back soon.
Mate, it'll be me holding up a VHS tape with all the tape out. We'll be back soon.
Technical problems. Yes, no, mate. So this film is actually it's pretty good. I would say it's pretty. I've got my main issue with it, which I can tell you about as part of me telling you about.
Yeah, go for it.
But so the idea of the film is that there is a new drug. There's a new pill on the market, on the black market, and what the pill does is it gives you for 5 minutes, exactly 5 minutes, which is a very handy plot device. For exactly 5 minutes, it gives you some superpower, right? You don't get to choose. The pill doesn't do it. It's almost like it unlocks your latent power. Like everyone has a thing that happens to them, and it happens every time. Like, so once you know what it is, you that if you take another pill, you get the same one again. Yeah. And it's good. It's good. Like, because some of the powers are, I guess it doesn't really dive into this, but some of the powers are just crap. Like, they just don't do very much. Some of them will just kill you. Like, your heart might explode out the front of your chest, But some of them are like, you turn bulletproof. Some of them are like, you can create fire and all the rest of it, or ice or what have you. So it's kind of cool like that. And it's interesting. I don't know. There's a bit of me that's tickled by the idea of like all the different. It's like X-Men, all the different things that might happen. There's some cool ideas in there. Like there's one bad guy, like some henchman that shows up at some point that's got like, he pops a pill and he's super stretchy. Like he can grapple you like an octopus. Because they're saying about how they've taken the DNA from animals, and it's a bit. Some of it is a bit kind of loose linked,
playing fast and loose.
Yeah. But you can kind of ignore that. And the idea is basically that it's a real threat on the streets now because this drug is unregulated. It's being pushed by these dealers, these like shady dealers, and what have you. And I guess my only criticism about it is that storyline wise, it's almost more about the crime than it is about people popping these pills and having weird shit happen to them, like their face melting off or something,
Yeah,
so it's more, once you get into it, once the concept's established, it is more about like finding where the pills are coming from, finding why there's like chips in them so you can be tracked. Like, so it's almost like a test case, it's almost like a tracking thing like this, like bloody 5G, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I was expecting it more to lean into the
interesting thing.
The interesting thing about this film, like the ramifications, like to explore more of like, what would this actually mean for people? Like, if this was a thing, like, would you take it knowing that you might just die and you don't get a second chance, or you might become invincible? It might be incredible for you. So it dives into it. Kind of gives that lip service a little bit. Mainly in the scene with Casey Neistat, actually, it kind of explores a little bit of like, because it's the scene where they're trying to find new buyers, like the bad guys are trying to find new buyers to push the pills. But man, it's pretty good. Like the actors in it are good. They're decent. It never kind of gets too silly. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in it that is just convenient. Like certain people who got plot armor through half of the conflict in it.
Of course.
But I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on it too hard, because it was a very enjoyable film to watch. I almost wonder if they'd make a sequel where it explored more like the different powers and things.
It's funny. It's kind of funny you bring that up, because did you play BioShock Infinite? The
Not
one
Infinite.
After it?
No, man.
No. Okay, so like the first BioShock is based around plasmids, which give people powers. Really fucks up the place, and that's the story, isn't it? People get addicted to it, and it causes all sorts of issues and all that sort of shit. So in BioShock Infinite, it's a similar setup, but as opposed to injecting it, they drink it and they get these powers.
Yeah.
But the powers are not even close to being part of the story, and it doesn't look like they've affected the place very much. Okay. And it's like, how would this shit not cause some sort of incredible social unrest like it did in the first one?
Yeah.
Like, it's just very like, it's fair enough, different story. You can't say the same story twice, but having because they're everywhere. You know, you can just buy them on the street and shit, but no one does. Everyone's normal there.
Yeah,
you know, it's very rare. You'll fight. There's a few people that have them, and you fight them like almost like boss fights. But
yeah,
you know, your average person shooting at you just shoots at you, and that's that. So I always found that strange. Like, how can you not focus on the most interesting part, which is having these incredible powers? Why am I focusing on something else?
If you could have the ability to throw fire out of your hands and it cost you 200 quid, you'd save up. You know, like, you know, if it cost you $2,000, you'd think about it. Like,
oh, God,
right. Yeah. Oh, my £2,000 fire touch, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it. I find it sometimes when like a story or something doesn't focus on like, oh, people are getting powers, but the story is actually about this. I don't get it sometimes. Like, how is it not based on the cool thing that's happening?
Yeah, like I mean, I think some stories do quite well for how they go. Right, it's a story about this, and it just happens to be set in this environment because then it's always very deliberate. Like when it's a conscious choice, it's almost like there was a show. Was it Powers, where it's set around normal people living in a world where there are superheroes. And it's just and it's that kind of living with that situation rather than being about it. So I mean, deliberate settings like that, I guess, work.
Yeah. Mate, talking of all this, actually, sorry to interrupt, but The Boys is back next week.
I know! It's coming! Oh, man. It's coming. Dude, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Mate, I watched some reviews of it because I think people have seen it early and they said it's fantastic. So
really?
I'm pumped.
Oh, good, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Right, that's happy news. Do you know what sad news is? Another 2 weeks before Bill and Ted comes out in the UK. Now, I know you really are invested in this. All right. I know this is going to break your heart, mate, but I can't believe we've still got to wait. I even tried, man, I'm probably just not very good at getting around systems like this, but I even sorted myself out a little VPN. I was like, I'll set it up. I'll go on, I'll set it up so I'm in the States, which is fine for streaming, works for streaming, doesn't work for purchasing. Because they'll go, hey, I mean, and I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna get into the rabbit hole of like, right, let's set up a billing address in the US. So, yeah, man, unless you got a way of paying for it in the country you want, it's no good.
Unfortunate.
Dude, the first reviews have come through because I think it came out in the States on Friday, and I've been sort of skimming Twitter, trying to keep like through half closed eyes, like I don't want to read anything I don't want to read. But the first reviews, mate, so good. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad it's good because that sort of thing can come back and be like, oh dear.
It really can. I think the worst description I've seen of it is adequate. That was one review. I've seen,
okay.
Yeah, dude, I'll take that. If that's the worst you can say about it, man, it just sounds like it's because I rewatched the first two with Claire because I think she'd seen the first one, she hadn't seen the second one. And man, they hold up. They're just silly, good movies, like feel-good movies, genuine feel-good movies.
Nice.
And that's what people are saying about the third one, man. They're like, this isn't a film that's just been made for the sake of it. They're going, this is a film that they obviously wanted to make. It's good. A very, very deliberate sequel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
I can't wait. Awesome. Mate, to throw back to last time, you said, check out Peanut Butter Falcon, which you did. That film very much felt like, I want to make this film. Yeah, like you said, it was good. It wasn't trying to be anything really preachy or anything. It's just a decent film, well written, cool, nice, nicely done. Just really nice done.
Yeah, worth a watch, right?
Yeah. Oh, too right. Absolutely great. We watched it with quite a few people over as well, and I always think watching a new film with a few people over can be quite tricky.
Like, shut up! Put your phone down. I'm trying to.
Yeah. But it kind of had everyone pretty much glued to the screen for the entire time, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Everyone said at the end as well, I was like, yeah, enjoyed that.
Mate, I feel like I've spread a little bit of love. I've spread a little bit of love into the world.
To only spoil it mildly, my favourite part is when he decked the kid.
Yeah.
So funny. I got a real laugh out of me. I shouldn't laugh at that, but it just came out of nowhere. It's just like, boo. It's like, oh my God.
One of those things like, you're not really allowed to do this, but it's in a film. It's fine.
Yeah. Mate, I thought Shia LaBeouf was so comfortable in that role. It's almost like made for him. He clearly he knew that role back to front.
Have you ever seen his episode of Hot Ones?
No, I haven't.
Because That was kind of my first reintroduction to Shia LaBeouf recently, like after he kind of went off grid. And he's, by the looks of him in that interview, he's very much the same person as he is in the movie. With like a few different circumstances. He's very kind of rural, humble, like very, like it seems very honest. I mean, he's obviously a bit kooky, like he's done some very weird things. But he's very like open, seems very straight down the line when he's talking about life and talking about his work. Yeah, man, he seems quite close to the character actually.
Yeah, I thought you played it really well. It was.
I'm not saying it hits kids, but
no. So. It's just a nice, feel good, wasn't it?
And dude, I don't know, like I texted you when you were saying that you watched it. It seems like a very healthy male relationship as well, which you don't see very often.
No, I couldn't agree more. Like he pushes him, but in the right way, not in a toxic, use that phrase, not in a toxic male way. He just says,
like a very respectful
man. Yeah. You can do it, sort of thing. All encouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot. It was great.
Dude, speaking of manly pursuits, I just wanted to tag on the end of this episode to tell you about what I went and did with my wife the other day. Now, don't worry, this isn't It's Bop After Dark.
So no, this is a clean version.
This is a clean activity. Because it was actually something I'd bought her as a Christmas present. She went falconing.
Yeah.
And we did it locally. I will put a link in the description to the guy's website if anyone fancies doing it, or if you fancy it as a present for someone else. It's very worthwhile. It was very rewarding. So we went to see this guy, and hooked up the time and the day to go and do it. And he's got this set up at his, keeps his birds at his place, at his house, because obviously he has to look after them. It's like a full time, almost like farming, like or zookeeping. You are caring for these animals.
Yeah.
And mate, they are just incredible. I know you've probably seen birds of prey. Maybe even seen them. I'm sure people out there listening to this have probably seen them in the flesh. They've probably seen this this kind of thing before. But if you haven't interacted with these animals in real life, it's so cool, man. So he's got a couple of Harris hawks. He's got an eagle owl, got a kestrel. There's a couple of like Jaya crosses, which are like just other falcons, other birds of prey. And man, they're just cool. So they're like I know it's big business. Like falconing is big business in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia. They have very whole stadiums and whole like palaces built literally just for when they want to fly the falcons.
That's mad.
And he had one bird that was he bought from somewhere in Cornwall that normally sells most of his birds to Saudi Arabia, and even just looking at it, like you can see why you could get into it, if that makes sense. Like you could see why like people would want to collect them.
Of course,
it's like guitars or cars, or stuff like, or shoes, where you can see, like, if you can see how there would be differences between them, and nice ones and ones that just chimed with you. Yeah, man. But they go for like thousands of pounds. This is big business, like huge. So anyway, I mean, what we actually did, we took a couple of the hawks out to start with.
Nice.
Went to the local woods, and my wife is walking around along with a glove on, and there's a little bit where the birds are on the glove, but then you get them to the woods, and he goes, right, just let it go. And it's like walking a dog. They'll fly up into the branches, and you walk along, and they'll follow you. Like every now and again, follow you from branch to branch. And you can you take a bit of dead chick or a bit of meat in your hand, and they'll fly and land on your hand and eat the meat.
That's cool.
They just follow you around, dude. It's so cool. And then one of them, the female, Suze, obviously got distracted by a pheasant somewhere in the woods, and she disappeared. And we had to get like the radar antenna out, to track her down, like beep 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 beep. She's over here. And then dude, like I'm rambling because it was so interesting, man. And he's saying like, right, we need to take the pheasant with us because she'll remember she's killed it, and if we don't let her eat a bit of it, then it throws off like a training. It throws off the training. She becomes a bit mardy about it. Dude, they're clever birds, man. He maintained that they're thick as two short planks, but
Yeah.
they've obviously got like some intelligence in them, you know.
Yeah,
like
they
some
know
memory
enough.
to them.
Yeah, man, that's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, when they land on your hand when you've got the glove on, they feel like really heavy. Are they quite heavy? Like,
No,
they're all right.
like because this bit is secondhand from obviously Claire was the one doing like the handling and what have you.
Yeah.
But they're not heavy, man. They're only about 2 pounds. Some
That's
of the
mad.
different across the different birds.
yeah,
But he has to. It's like a daily weigh-in, and if they're slightly too heavy, they won't want to fly because they're too full. You know, they're too fed.
Yeah.
They won't have that instinct to want to hunt stuff.
yeah, actually go out.
Yeah, man, it's super super interesting, and like I don't know, man. This is something maybe I've appreciated over the last few years, and I think we've talked about this before. Maybe is the idea of like going out of your way to hunt stuff down to do.
Yeah,
You know, like something like archery, like go and do archery for a day, or I'll go and shoot clays for a day, or whatever it is, you know, or go and do falconry for a day. Like, it's worth hunting stuff like that out, like slightly more weird shit, you know, that isn't just like, oh, let's go and do a walk on the coast, shall we? You know, let's go down to this pub and just check out the surrounding. It's like, no, I want to go see a fucking hawk fly around and catch stuff.
Yeah,
you
man. I totally get that massively.
know? Yeah. I'll stick a link in the description for this guy if anyone's interested, man.
Yeah,
not a paid promotion, but like worth checking out.
This episode brought to you by Falcon.
Yeah, just falcons, just in general.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. But dude, I think that might be the show. I think that might be everything.
They might round us off.
Yeah.
David, what did you think?
I'm always so emotional at the end of the shows. You can tell because your voice. I don't know about you, man. My voice gets a certain feeling to it when I know I've been talking for too long.
Yeah, too much. There's enough.
And it's this natural limit on there. I mean, hey, if you are still listening, if you have listened to all of this, then pop a like, ring that bell, subscribe. If you're on YouTube.
Buy a
think you can
t-shirt.
do that on other platforms. Yeah, buy a t-shirt. Yeah, links in the description for some decent t-shirts.
Oh, very nice t-shirt.
Thanks as always to Tony Thaxton for our theme. Thank you for listening and being patient with two rotters who don't really know what they're talking about, talking bollocks for an hour.
It's what we do best.
I'd like to think so, mate. Tom, if people want to find you online, where can they track you down?
It's got to be at the old Bite Review anywhere, but where can they find you, Ben?
I am at Benji1Lung. Oh, actually, benji1lung.com if you want to keep abreast of some news that's
exciting
coming out
stuff.
soon. Yeah. I'll leave that there. Yeah.
Leave that hanging there.
Yeah, hit up benji1lung.com. Maybe, or don't. Do what you like. Live your life. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.